is disturbing as it is, coming from the different divides of Nigeria about what is wrong and what is not going well with us. And the question being asked is, do we, pull down the nation because of what we are going through? I just might be bringing Professor. Hello, good morning, Prof. All right, I'll just call you to the studio number. We'll call you now. Stay on the line, Prof. Yes. Okay, I have with me, in any moment from now, I'll be bringing in Professor Leonard Kashimashiba, Vice Chancellor Academics, Admiralty University, Delta State. It's a long call. Coming from Delta State, and he will be talking to us about the state of the nation, and of course sharing his thoughts with us. Things are not really going on well. We all do know that, but again, we pull it down. They'll pull it down, because things are not going well. Agitations coming from the divides of the country, and of course we're getting some signals that are not just good for the development of a nation, but we are a great nation, and so what must we do to keep the nation going? And so I'll be bringing in Professor Leonard Kashimashiba, Vice Chancellor at Academics, Admiralty University in Delta State, to share thoughts with us on this matter. We're going for him now. Just bear with us. We come back now. Hello, Prof.
Hello.
Hello, Prof.
Good morning.
Good morning, Prof.
Good morning, Chief.
Yes, can you hear me loud and clear?
Yeah, I hear you very well.
Okay. Yes, I was just talking about the state of the nation and where we are with it now. There's so many disturbing noise that we're getting from the different divides of the country, and of course governance too, and the government of the day in the forefront of what Nigerians are getting today. And some people are saying that the promises that were made before the advent of this administration, have we lost all of them? Are promises meant to be broken as it is? But just a general overview.
Excuse me.
Hello, Prof.
It's a wrong number you're calling. It's not Prof.
Okay. All right. We'll just go and come back. Glad to be back with you on the program Perspectives. Sorry for the mix-up there with the numbers, but we're glad that we have Professor Leonard Kashimashiba, Vice Chancellor Academics, Admiralty University in Delta State. Prof, I just gave a background there about the state of the nation, and for some, worrisome as it is, and people, bringing thoughts, different thoughts about why things are not going right, and some people saying that we go our separate ways, some people calling for the divide, that we must put on this country. Restructuring had been an issue with this country, that we can't just be going it this way. And so, your thoughts about the state of the nation before we really get into the nitty-gritty of the program.
Well, thank you very much for having me on the show again. First of all, Happy New Year to everyone there. Yeah. Well, it's like a marriage where whenever there's a problem, one of the partners will threaten to pull out of the marriage. Maturity demands that should not be the option all the time. Yes, Nigeria has challenges, no doubt. But then, is pulling out of the union the solution? Usually, when human beings are done with a common enemy, the group members turn upon each other. So it does not in any way give us hope that pulling out of the union will suddenly bring about peace in our land. Because the problem that we have, the insecurity problem that we have in Nigeria, are not only limited to conflict between ethnic groups and extraneous ethnic groups. We also have intra-ethnic group crisis. So pulling out of the union for me is not the solution. What I think we should concentrate on is to appreciate the problem that we have in Nigeria. Whenever human beings cannot afford something, they attack it. When they can't afford something, what they do, they attack it. It's like someone that is the richest person on the street. People usually want to attack that person, sometimes for no just cause. So when we look at progress in this country, the insecurity problem in this country, we should dissect the categories of insecurity we have in this country. Number one, we have economic insecurity, which for me, I believe, triggers all other forms of insecurity. We cannot use brute force to solve our security problem in this country. If we have majority of Nigerians who are unable to afford the basic needs of life, the basic comforts of life, who are unable to get the services that they need, which are very basic, of course, we are not going to be secure. So you look at 7 years ago, look at the earnings of Nigerians, the real income of Nigerians, and look at the income of Nigerians today. Professors in federal universities now earn barely 1/3 of what they were earning just 7 years ago. Now, when you have such stark realities confronting us, of course, we are going to have the skirmishes that we have been having in the country recently. In 2005, the then governor of the CBN, Charles Soludo, presented a very brilliant paper in which he showed clearly the correlation between economic GDP growth and the survival of democracy. We cannot pretend all is not well with our economy, but then what has that triggered? It has triggered a lot of insecurity problems in our country. So for me, that is my summary on what you are saying.
Well, again, taking it from that, you've talked about insecurity, and of course placed it on economic insecurity that has come out with the different types that is given Nigeria. But we are in a recession, a second recession, as would be said. And again, the question being asked is, what has come with the solutions, to economic problems? We have a great economic team, but are they really looking at how to proffer solutions to the economic situations that we have?
Yeah, you see, when we talk of government, what is government? For me, government is the system that manages the aspirations and means of production of a society. Now, so the people who are in government are actually the managers of those aspirations and the managers of those means of production. Now, as we say in universities and colleges, college education is all about improving the quality of thought of a person. So, if you don't have the right personnel to manage the economic aspiration of the country, we're going to have the kind of situation we are in right now. Personnel is actually policy. The kind of people you engage in your business, you engage to run your government, will determine the outcome. So at the moment, looking at the decisions that have been taken in the past 1 year, I'm disturbed. I'll give you just some few practical examples. Now, you raise VAT by 50%. At the same time, within a short time, you raise the pump price of fuel. And then, what have you done? You also raise electricity tariff. It's like a kill. You are giving the patient too much of drugs at the same time. You will kill that person. How does government expect industry to thrive in the midst of such killing, as I put it? And then you look at the issue of minimum wage. What has government done? And how has the NAC responded? This is what government has done. Government has started to give Nigeria plenty of naira while taking away the value of naira. So you increase minimum wage to 30,000 naira a month, and the real value is not up to the value of 7 years ago, 18,000 naira a month. So we don't have actually people managing the economy that we can be confident in their decision making, because for me, the decisions that they have taken lately are only killing our economy. So we need to have new managers managing our economy, and President Buhari should look into that.
Well, again, Prof, it's been said that Nigeria is a great nation worldwide. That's been said about this great nation. Human, resources, and of course we talk about natural and human resources that we have there. And of course, in all parts of the world where we find Nigerians, they're doing great jobs. But again, back home, we're not getting that. So, what are the things you can put forward about why we're not getting right back home with our citizens, and they do so well outside or abroad?
You see, yes, we have Nigerians who are doing very well around the world. They're doing very well in which systems? The same Nigerians come back to this country and they are frustrated. For instance, when I was appointed chairman of NAPTEP, I look at the various regulations and rules which, in a way, restrain the natural tendency to abuse the system. And then some people told me, say, Prof, in this country we don't obey rules. I said, this is what the public service rule says. This is what the procurement rule says. We have all of these here. They say, no, don't care about them. So when you have a country where rules are selectively complied with, if at all, then no matter how brilliant you are, the system is going to choke you out, frustrate you out, and you become the enemy of the people that believe they own the system and who are the landlords of the system. So yes, until we start obeying our rules and regulations, when no matter how powerful you think you are cheated by the leashes of the law, nothing works, even though we have great Nigerians doing well in other systems. Once we come to the Nigerian system where rules are not respected, where court rules are ignored, we cannot succeed. And that is why some people are still trying to leave this country, because they came back and they are frustrated and they think the best way is to jet out again.
Again, Prof, on the matter of insecurity, we're getting different, voices coming on the matter of security. The governor of Katsina State, Bello Musari, had come to say that banditry and kidnapping has become a big business. Of course, the president, too, had come with his own voice that some powerful people are behind the insecurity that we're experiencing today. General T.Y. Danjuma had at one time said that Nigerians must stand up for themselves, defend themselves. Now we're getting it again from the Minister of Defense, Major General Bashir Magashi, who is saying that, a matter of fact, that Nigerians should not be cowards, come forward and face the gunmen. And so, when we're having all of these, the position of government constitutionally to defend the people and, of course, defend their property, where are we getting it wrong here?
Now, the three people that you mentioned, they are Nigerian leaders, former governors or current minister or former minister, former chief of the army. These are Nigerian leaders. What that is telling us is that they're saying, we don't know what to do. There's hopelessness in the land. But then I don't think that we should be hearing such messages from our leaders, past or present. Now, that reminds us of what I said a few minutes ago. The root cause of the physical insecurity in the land is the economic insecurity. Now, someone says kidnapping is booming because it is making money for some people. It's because they want to take care of their needs. The economy in Nigeria has led many casualties, and some of those casualties have arisen from the poor policies of the government, some of which I have cited a few minutes ago. But for me, there's a collapse in the local government system. Until we revive the local government system, poverty is going to be on the ascendancy. What do I mean by that? The Constitution of Nigeria makes it very clear in the fourth schedule that they are very basic functions that should be performed by local government councils. But those local government councils have been deprived by their governors of the statutory allocation coming from FAC. So are they going to use saliva to provide those services? No, they cannot talk, because once you challenge the governor as local government chairman, you become an ex-local government chairman. And the president is concerned. He has no power over this. But the people, the youths, the community leaders should begin to demand of their respective governors the allocation meant for their local governments, and even demand for what? Restitution. For years, they have taken away money from the local government so that we cannot provide those services, and poverty is on the increase, because there's no way the federal government or state government can provide those services at the local level. But they have taken the money meant for those local government, and so poverty is on the increase, and therefore, like that gentleman said, kidnapping is now a big business. What the poor terrorists is a big business, because they're making money from that. Even the security chiefs are making money from that. I'm pleased that they have screened a new set of security chiefs. Let's hope that they will come with new ideas, but they are not going to stop our economic insecurity. And so we're also only going to have eventually a part of the insecurity problem solved. So for me, revive the local government system, and we are going to improve on our economic situation.
Okay, Prof, I'll have to go for a commercial break. I'll join you after this break. The program is Perspectives, and it's coming to you on Invicta 98.9. And I'm sharing thoughts this morning with us is Professor Leonard Kashima-Shigba, a professor of mathematics, Vice Chancellor Academics, Admiralty University in Delta State. Be back with you shortly.
We are the station that all the stations listen to. Invicta 98.9 FM.
Every day, baby.
This is the station playing today's best mix.
Terrific.
Invicta FM.
We're back with you on the program Perspectives this morning, and we're looking at the state of the nation. Professor Leonard Kashima-Shigba, Professor of Mathematics, Vice Chancellor Academics, Admiralty University in Delta State, sharing thoughts with us today. He's also a commentator on national and international matters. And we're talking about Nigeria, a great nation with a great people. But the way that we're running this country gives room for questions, and so many questions to come out of it. Prof, again, I'll just go back to George Orwell's novel that, we probably are living in an animal farm in Nigeria where, we're all equal, they will say, but some are more equal than the others by way of, selection, appointments, and of course government presence in the way in the nation. Are you going on with that?
Well, I think that you're point very, very well.
I'm talking about some people. That's what the commentaries that are coming out is that some people say that we're living in George Orwell's Animal Farm, where we have it that some are more equal than the others. And so can we go on with this position about the present-day Nigeria?
That is an interesting comparison. You know, like I said, when a big tree falls on a big horse, everybody will start showing against the other. Okay? People now start looking for ways of survival, ways of escape. It all comes back to the struggle for survival. Now, when you have so many people who are out of jobs, so many people who have business ideas, they cannot access jobs. When you have so many people whose real income has suddenly plummeted, you're going to have a situation where people are going to be dissatisfied and where people don't feel safe anymore. So for me, it's not an issue of some animals are more equal than others, as much as the big animal in the farm who should monitor affairs for us is not actually responding to say, hello, you cannot rise against your fellow person and destroy that fellow person and think that you can go without consequences. We need to get clear messages from the person who is in charge, who is the head of this government, who is saying, look, you cannot just go there and provoke crisis without consequences. They can do something, get away with it, no matter how bad it looks, how bad it appears, how bad it may sound. There's no courage. So yes, we need to have the same strokes that we come upon all of us when we do what is bad. So for me, let's apply the law equally. I just call it as it is when people go wrong, even if they are our own fellow ethnic people. That's my take on that issue.
Prof, I'm going to take this out of what you just said. Are the citizens being provoked now, as it is?
What?
Yes, I'm asking that from what you said, are we having provocations, with the matters of governance as it is today?
No, for me, we are like a ship on the deep sea that has been hit by a storm. And everyone is trying to reduce the load in the ship. But then we are unable to do it. But the only way for us to survive is to cast out the jonah from the ship. I want to elaborate on that. So once that is done, there will be stability and there will be peace. So there are certain people that need to be cast out of the system for us to have a stable system where people will joyfully work together to increase our standard of living.
Prof, can you make that clearer for me? I need to get that clear.
So you want me to point you this trouble? you know, whether we like it or not, no matter how powerful, no matter how wicked, no matter how good the managers of our government, I'm not going to come in here, the managers of our government are, the time comes when they get out. The time comes when there will be changes. Now, Nigerians have to be very, very conscious of who give the chance to lead at all levels. I'm not talking of only at the federal level, at all levels. And in particular, Nigerians have to be more interested in who they send to the legislature, both at the state and national levels, because I am disappointed at the performance of our lawmakers. There is a lot that they can do through the artwork of legislation, but I'm not seeing them do that. I don't know whether it's because they don't have enough experts around it, because here in Nigeria, they don't spend so much money on bringing in the experts who will do research for those lawmakers. We enable them make very brilliant presentations on the floor and sponsor intelligent bills that can help reduce poverty. So for me, we need to pay attention to who we send to the House of Assembly at the local level, at state level, and federal level, and who will become our governors, and eventually who we shall put in the deep sea in 2023.
Now, Prof, again,
2 years plus to go and very, very terrible.
all right, but Prof, you also talked about rule of law. Rule of law is being challenged now, as it is, that we're not going by it, and democracy works with the rule of law. Have we gotten to a point where Nigerians can say that they know who they want to represent them, and if they will be given under a free, fair, and credible election?
You see, nobody could expect in Nigeria that they will put in their hands everything they want. No. People have fought for freedom. People have bled for freedom. And people have sacrificed for the rule of law to happen. I don't have to mention those countries, you know, and listeners also understand what I'm talking about. In Nigeria, I am beginning to see hope rising from the plume of hopelessness. When Nigerian youth begin to ask questions, when they begin to take steps that we put the managers of our government on their toes, we have hope. There was a time some years ago when I wrote Nigerian students. I even called the leader of Nigerian student association at that time. This guy was more interested in watching Man U match than listening to what Koshiba had to say. They shut down the universities for years. They shut for months, and they are just there doing nothing. And I wonder, do they actually understand what is at stake? Because you see other countries like USA, where people have sacrificed over a period of years to have freedom, to have the rule of law, are more conscious of what is going on in their government than Nigerian youth were before. But now, I am beginning to see that they are becoming conscious now. If they can sustain that, if they will refuse to sell their birthright for a book of porridge, if they will refuse to accept that money can buy everything in this country, then we shall have hope. So for me, I think NSAS is a bit of hope. I don't know whether it's only a spark that will happen once in a long while, or it's going to be built upon.
Okay, Prof, I just have to come to the audience now to be part of this conversation. And so just stay on the line, Prof. Numbers to call to be part of it this morning, 081 40,000 989, 081 40,000 989, or 070 87 800 989, 070 87 800 989. Take your calls now. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, how are you, sir?
We're good.
Yeah, I've been hearing your discussion with Prof. Prof has said all in all. Because we find out that those that were elected...
Sorry, just before you go on, your name, please. Your name, please.
Oh, my name is Santong.
Santong.
Yes.
All right, let's hear you.
What I'm saying, what the Prof has said, he has said all what is in my mind. The reason is that we elected all our leaders, especially those in the House of Senate, House of Representatives. They are not presenting us at all. Because all the parties in this country, they don't care. They have never made a move. Because the president has, in fact, he's not even following the rules of law. Whatever he wants to do, he will do it without fear. Because you know that they are not going to give him anything.
No, Santong, that's a sweeping statement that the president, does not go by the rule of law.
Yeah, because with those things,
no, that cannot be right, Santong. You're just making a sweeping statement there.
Things are happening, and he doesn't care. He doesn't come out and say
No. That's just not right. Yeah, we'll go for another call. Let's be civil, with our comments here too. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, hello, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Mr. Aladi.
Yes.
It's here from Gomla Road.
All right, Ishia. Let's hear you.
Yeah, according to the question you asked earlier about what the Minister of Defense said, I said it yesterday, and I want to, if you can recall, Lagos State, I'm a resident of Lagos State, so I come down to Kaduna here. When the Badu guys are disturbing Lagos State, I think Lagos residents we stood up with the government, joined hands with the government to stop this criminality of the Bados then. That was when Governor Ambode was in tenure.
Okay.
So what I said today was that we should all Nigerians stand with the government battle with this criminality in Nigeria, so-called bandits. Now, it's not that we are going to chase them with the AK-47. We don't have ammunition, or we should have this. No, government. What's it called? Police. We have police. We have the Nigerian Army. We have Naval. We have Air Force. We support them. You know, in Lagos State, then we don't sleep as a resident. In the night, we come out that we don't want this killing. Enough is enough. All Lagos State come out in the night. We leave our wives inside. We men come out.
Okay, so it's okay for us to come out. It's okay for us to come out, you know, not be cowards.
Yes,
okay.
Yes, because if Nigeria can come out at once, fight this bandit, I think we will stop.
All right.
By supporting government, not by criticizing the government.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you on that, Ishia. We'll take one more call and come back to our guest. Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Tony Alebi.
Good morning.
I'm calling from...
Sorry, I can't. You have to speak up.
Okay, I'm Tijani Mohammed.
Tijani Mohammed.
Calling from Gomero.
Okay, let's say.
Yeah, the whole scenario is devastated because, you know, the issue of this country, by now we shouldn't have this been in this mess. You know, as we all know, as one Nigeria, the manifestos...
Tijani, I'm straining myself to get to hear you. Sorry, we'll have to take one more call and then come back to our guest. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
How are you doing, Tony Alavi?
We're good here. Your name and where you're calling from?
Sincerely speaking, I want to appreciate your guest on this topic. I am Job International.
All right, Job International.
The issue of insecurity in this country, I think, is something else. Because there is, if you hear Atiku the day before yesterday, he said to Mr. President, don't pamper terrorists, don't pamper bandits. If you listen to the statement of the Northern Elders Forum and the Southern, and they say Buhari should speak. The Akere Dulu say Buhari must speak. And all these things are pointing fingers against the president. His silence, number one, is suspect. Number two, his compensation given to those terrorists by saying they compensate them. For example, what happened in Dapchi? They were given more than 400 million. Now in Katsina, Mieti Allah negotiate. It's only God knows how much they give. Some people are saying $50 million. Now the one in Niger. And all this, Mr. President, has not come out. But we hear him yesterday telling Niger that they will help them. Their country should be in peace. But we here, we are dying every day. And by statement of the Minister of Defense, this has gone to tell you that this minister, people should be fair to him. That's the only way he can even vindicate himself. He knows what is going on. If he says that he's going to defend Nigeria, how can they defend it? If something that you cannot do out of your 8 years, you cannot defend in 6 years, that means the remaining 2 years is meaningless.
All right, Joe,
so what I'm saying, sir, the solution now is that only Mr. President is the only person to tell you the truth of what is happening. But anybody, standing, chiefs and whatever, they will not know what is happening. But Buhari is aware of everything. Thank you.
All right. Prof, yeah, I hope you got the callers there.
Yes, I heard the last caller,
Yes, Job International. And Ishia had called earlier to say that he supports what the defense minister is saying, or Minister of Defense, that the people should come out, you know, and face the challenge of banditry and gunmen on the run.
Well, you see, Joy, there's no medicine rate. There's no medicine at all that you can take and it cure your regret. But we can learn from experiences. Either to act
differently in the future. If the Minister of Defense is calling on Nigerians to come out, with the government of Nigeria pass a law using the legislation to allow Nigerians to legally own arms, let them do that. Let them pass a law to legally allow Nigerians, like you and myself and our listeners, to buy. We walk into a shop, buy a gun, when everyone knows that almost everyone in the neighborhood has a gun, then you be careful how you act. He coming to my house in the night. Then we can contribute and defend ourselves. But until they do that, I call on my beloved President Buhari to call that minister to order. Because he is asking Nigerians to do a job without giving Nigerians the tools to carry out the job. One, intelligence gathering in this country, how good is that? And when a Nigerian citizen who is a patriot volunteers information to security agents, how safe is that person? So people actually must understand that Nigerians don't have the capacity to defend themselves. That is why we have government. We have given them that mandate to act on that behalf. The government is saying we should take over. Should we government resist on all of us to become managers of our own affairs? So for me, that minister is calling for anarchy, and it's unfortunate President Buhari should call into order.
Okay, Prof. Time, and we could go further with this, but time is up for us. We would like to thank you for coming on the program this morning.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Prof.
Have a nice day and weekend. Bye.
Thank you. And that's about the size of it on the program Perspectives. This morning, we're talking about the state of the nation. Professor Leonard Kashimashiba, a professor of mathematics, vice chancellor of academics, Admiralty University in Delta State, sharing thoughts with us this morning. Behoves on all of us, too, that we must keep this country going and, of course, have all hands on deck to do our part, citizens' responsibility. Keshat, thank you for connecting us with the people. Wisdom, thank you for putting us in the pictures. Back with Perspectives on Monday. Have a great weekend.
We are the station that all the stations listen to. Invicta.